Have you ever heard someone say, that's that, it is what it is, rules are rules, or a deal's a deal, and wondered why English speakers repeat themselves like this? At first, it might seem unnecessary, or even like a mistake. However, in English, repeating a word or phrase can be a very powerful way to show when something's finished and can't be changed, to show fairness, or to show emotion. In today's lesson, we're going to explore how you can use repetition in certain phrases and expressions to sound more confident, natural, and expressive in English. Let's start with phrases that show finality, so when something is finished and can't be changed. English speakers often repeat a word in a short phrase to show that a topic is closed or that the situation is accepted. For example, let's look at the idiom "that's that." You might hear it after a decision is made or an event has ended, and it communicates or says clearly, this is over and there's no more discussion. Like in this example, I said I'm not going to the party and that's that. So in this case, no matter what we say to the person, they will not change their mind. Another common phrase is, it is what it is. People use this when something disappointing or frustrating happens, but there's no way to change it. It's a way of accepting reality. For instance, if someone says to another person, I can't believe they fired you just for being late one time, a person might say, well, it is what it is. In this case, the person is accepting reality and ready to move on. Next up, we've got the idiom, what's done is done. This phrase tells the listener that something in the past cannot be changed. Once the task is finished, a decision is made, or a mistake occurs, saying what's done is done tells the listener that it's in the past and can't be changed, and it's time to move on. Like in this example, we lost an important client because of that delay, but what's done is done. We need to figure out how to prevent it from happening again. So here the speaker is trying to put the problem behind them and look towards a solution rather than pointing blame. Last in this section, we have the idiom, you gotta do what you gotta do. We can replace the you with another subject pronoun or use the idiom, a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, depending, of course, on who you're talking about. And we use this to mean that you will do whatever you have to do, whatever is necessary, even if it is difficult or dangerous. For example, we could say, it's not my dream job, but it pays the bills. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. So for this person, waiting around for a better job to open up just isn't an option. He's got bills to pay, and a man's got to do what a man's got to do. So he accepts it. Next, let's look at repeated phrases that show fairness, rules, or principles. Native speakers often repeat words in short expressions to say that something is consistent or expected, or that it applies to everyone equally. For example, the phrase rules are rules is used when someone asks for an exception or to be treated special, but the speaker wants to make it clear that the rule must be followed. It's firm, polite, and fair. A way of saying that everyone must follow the same rule or standard. For example, even the CEO has to go through the security check. Rules are rules. In this case, despite being at the top of the company, he or she still needs to get their ID scanned and bag checked before entering the building because, well, rules are rules. Another common expression is a deal's a deal. This is used when an agreement has been made and needs to be honored. For example, I know you want to renegotiate the price, but a deal's a deal. We already signed the contract. In this case, the person wants to negotiate a lower price, but the contract has already been signed. They've already made a deal, so they can't go back and change it. Finally, there's fair's fair, and this phrase is about, well, fairness. And we use this when correcting a situation, giving someone what is owed, or treating someone the same. For example, a parent might say to their daughter, you got to pick which movie to watch last Friday, so your brother gets to pick tonight. Fair's fair. This expression is incredibly useful when you want to clearly show fairness and consistency. Now let's explore repeated phrases that express emotion, attitude, or values. These phrases show how the speaker feels and what they care about. For example, a promise is a promise emphasizes the importance of keeping one's word or one's promise. Like in this sentence, I know you're tired, but you agreed to take the kids to the park. A promise is a promise, so get off the sofa. This might be something one spouse says to another, and using a promise is a promise is really to stress that a commitment should not be broken. Another example here, business is business. This phrase is often used when a decision might feel harsh, but it's necessary. Sometimes using this phrase can sound cold and ruthless. For example, I hate letting good employees go, but business is business. We can't afford to keep everyone right now. In this case, this person would really like to keep all of their workers, but it's impossible. They have to make hard decisions about who to fire because business is business. The company simply doesn't make enough money to keep everyone. Try using one of today's repetition phrases the next time you are speaking English. And if you found this video helpful, hit those outstanding like and subscribe buttons. See you in the future.